So,
you start with the first
I
question.
start. Yes, thanks for taking the time for us today. We would like you to please share more about your background first and the journey that led you to your current role, how you came to that.
Yeah, actually, I sometimes wonder what brought me here. So I keep on being surprised by my own life in a way. So I was the first academic in my family, and that was a good thing in a way that I never had any pressure. So to be successful, but I also never had a network or career advice from my parents. And I also never had a career plan. So if you'd asked me with 26 or 27 what I wanted to do later, I would have said, like, I want to contribute in a positive way, I want to be inspired by my job and the people around me, but it was never a role or a leadership position I was aiming for. So in a way, it was a lot of coincidence that brought me here. For sure, also ability, otherwise I guess I wouldn't be here. But I think mainly it was people that brought me here, people who saw my potential and fostered me and pushed me. And that was sometimes women, but it was also men. So having men as allies is very important because they are very often the people in the decision-making positions, and without them we will not be successful.
That's very interesting. I used to work in the science infrastructure, so I know it's a challenging, actually, environment, I would say. But maybe you could elaborate a little bit what challenges you faced during your career.
So I think, we all face challenges, and it's actually a good thing because it means we leave our comfort zone, and that's when we learn the most. I think, and I sometimes also think that we ourselves are our own biggest challenge. So we don't believe in our own strength, in what we can do, and we limit ourselves by that. But when I think back and look at my career, so I joined Mars 7 years ago, and I came from an agency, and I was part of an agency leadership team, everyone dedicated to communication. And then I joined Mars, and I joined a business leadership team with a finance director, a sales director, a marketing director, a lot of people with big egos and self-confidence, very extrovert people, and experts in their fields of work. And I joined the leadership team, and I really didn't know how to contribute. I didn't understand half of what was talked about in the meetings, and I'm an introvert, so I found it really hard to get a word in. By the time I took a breath, the conversation had moved on. And then I also got the feedback it would be good to have a higher share of voice in leadership team meetings. It would be good to be more present there, but I really didn't see how I could achieve that. And then a colleague walked up to me and said, "You know, Nina, I think you're a great silent contributor to this team." And he meant it in a positive way. And then I had a coach, and she recommended a book to me that was called Quiet, and it's about the strength of introverts. And then I realized that being an introvert also has a beneficial side to it. So sometimes I'm in a meeting, and I have a good feeling for the team dynamics. I see when people don't agree with something but don't dare to speak up, and I can point it out for them. So it's actually a strength, but it took me a while to realize that and to actually be happy with who I am. But I think we will only be successful if we feel good about ourselves and can be ourselves at work at all time.
Absolutely. The phenomenon of diversity is as well not only connected with our sex or gender, it's as well connected with who we are, and if we are introverts, extroverts, if we are old or young, so it has all the elements in it. Very important.
And very nice the way you describe how you have been facing those challenges and how you overcame them. What do you think is the responsibility of the company itself to help people, like go over the challenges or eliminate that diversity?
So I think it's important that a company has a clear point of view. So at Mars, we have a purpose. It's called The World We Want Tomorrow starts with how we do business today. And the world we want tomorrow is fairer and more inclusive. And we are outspoken about that. And we have many leaders who very visibly stand behind that purpose and who live it. And that's setting an example for the whole organization. So I think that's one thing. The second thing has been addressed, like being committed to gender-balanced leadership teams. So we have the commitment to have 100% gender-balanced teams. We are currently globally at 40% women, 60% men on average. And my Central Europe leadership team, the Czech Republic is one of the markets I'm responsible for, is actually, we are a leadership team of 12, and it's 8 women. So I think that's then raising the bar.
Sweet job, I guess.
It is. It's amazing. And a lot of introverts. So it's a completely different environment from the one before, and I quite enjoy it.
Amazing. So you announced to us that you will speak about the potential of being your true self. Now the question is, how has embracing your authentic self influenced your career and leadership journey as well?
Yeah, I think a lot, because so for one, it's really realizing who we are, what we are good at, and to build on the strength versus trying to counterbalance weaknesses we have. That's what I always thought I had to do prior, get rid of things that I consider a weakness, but it's actually building on our strength. And I think what Mars helped with, at Mars we are one principle at Mars is that we want people to be able to be themselves and bring their true selves to work. So we talk a lot about who we are, what type of personality we have, what makes us us, and what we need to be at our best. And we realize that you can't differ between a private self and a work self. So we are always one and the same person. And whatever happens in private life influences my performance at work, and what happens at work influences my private life. My kids, my daughters actually said to me once, "You only shout at us because you're stressed at work." And that was very true. It was a very true statement. So I think, and so because we talk about this a lot at Mars, it creates a psychological safety to be able to talk, to address vulnerabilities, insecurities, but also to dare and say what we want and what we need from our job and our teams. And I have a great example. A colleague of mine, about my age in the UK, was diagnosed with ADHS at a very normally you only see that in children, but they diagnose that in adults now as well. And for her, the effect is that she is highly engaged and passionate, but she can't concentrate very long. So when she has a long leadership team meeting, like after half an hour or an hour, her brain stops ticking and listening. And she dared to voice it in her leadership team. And now they adjusted the agendas. They have more regular breaks. And she also has a toy to play with, and so she had to keep her hands busy, and to not make her feel uncomfortable, everyone got one. So, and I just think that's really nice. So how to create a supportive system so people can be themselves, to be able to be their best at work, because I mean that's also beneficial for the work environment. Yeah.
Very nice. I like those concrete examples, and these small stories which are making a lot, in fact, for those people and for their teams. So. Thanks a lot.
May I just have a question if someone from our public has a question? Here is a question. Wait a moment, please. You will get a microphone.
Hello, my name is Irina. Do you have some examples where is maybe man support you or was your mentor in your journey to your position?
Yes, actually, if I think about it, like I started this role on the 1st of October, and it was, no, actually I have 3 examples. So also from my former life in the agency. So the first leadership position I took, I was basically pushed into. So I was a member of a team. The team leader left the company, and I didn't really think I would be a great leader of the team. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think it was something I would enjoy, and I had just found out that I was pregnant, so I thought, okay, wrong timing, what can I do? And then my boss said to me, I want to promote you to be a team leader. And I said, I don't know, am I the right person, and I'm pregnant? And then he said, I don't see why that should be a blocker. So he promoted me. I did the job for 6 months, went on maternity leave. They covered in the meantime, I came back, and I loved it. And I would have never done it if he hadn't pushed me into it. So I think that's also, Really, I'm grateful
of
today.
the power of mentors and good leaders at work. That's very important, definitely.
Exactly, and I think it's also a shout out to all of us to be allies and give each other a nudge, because I think we need it often. Yeah. And in my current position, it's also that we have a training program that's called Women Leading Purposefully. That's a lot about finding out who you are, what your strengths are, but also building a network. So, I mean, you will never be successful by yourself. And I used to feel really uncomfortable networking, calling people for my personal development versus I have a concrete business reason. And then someone told me, yeah, but how does it make you feel when people come up to you and ask you for advice? And I thought, well, it actually makes me feel pretty great. It's a recognition. And now I look at it that way. And I had a GM, a general manager, and a regional president who supported me a lot and who also made me take this next step and take over the responsibility for 10 Central European markets. So they helped me a lot on the journey and were my mentors there.
Nice.
Thank you. I saw a raised hand over there, but I'm not sure if we have another question for Nina. No, maybe it was just somewhere here.
Yeah.
If not more from the public,
Take your chance.
No?
No?
Nobody?
If you're introvert and don't feel like it, then speak to me in the break.
That's a good point. Yeah. Now, you were speaking quite a lot about the advices that you received at many moments of your career. What would be the advice that you can give here now for those who are striving to reach their full potential?
So I think it's basically repeating what I said. It's dare to leave your comfort zone. Just try. What can go wrong? If you don't like it, you change it again. You know, if you don't try and dare, you'll never get anywhere. Network. Don't be afraid to do that. To find allies that support you, and find out what your strengths are and advertise them. So when you have a success, I think we always hope that when we do a good job, people see it and they will promote us. It sometimes happens when your boss is really close to your work, but very often it doesn't. So it's really important to just advertise your successes. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, still do it. Like post it on a billboard and on as many as you can find whenever you've done something great.
I had a manager who used to say the same. So she said, you can do the best project ever. If you do not sell it, it had never happened.
Yes.
So very important message, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you.
other question? We have here a question, Eva.
Thanks a lot. Today, too much inspiration, and I want to grab it. I really liked the way that you put it on the table. I am an introvert, and I simply need to have it different. I really like it. And how, me as a leader, how can I best support actually my colleagues who are more introverted to promote their job on a daily basis? I cannot always do that instead of them, right? What could be your advice and view on that?
Great question.
Put it in a development plan so you can get back to it on a regular basis. And I think introverts, they do need a push. It's just uncomfortable. You know, we don't like doing it. But I think the good thing is once you start advertising your successes and then you receive positive feedback, it's a motivator to do it again. And you realize it's not awkward and you just get positive feedback. So I think you need to nudge people at the start and continuously nudge until they start liking it, enjoying it, and until it gets into a routine.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nina Wenzl, Director, Corporate Affairs, Mars, Central Europe.